Nightmare Cinema is a brand new 2019 anthology horror flick that is currently streaming on Shudder. This one has a cameo from Mickey Rourke as the projectionist. So people wander into a movie theater one by one, and while they are in there, they watch a segment where the character in the segment looks like them or has some kind of life like theirs. Kind of reminds me of something like the old Hammer, or no, I'm sorry, not Hammer. I always confused the two in my head for a second. No, Amicus anthologies like Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, and Doctor. I always get this confused. Doctor Terror's House of Horrors. I think that's it, or the other way around, but whichever. But it does remind me of that because they show the characters and he's telling the stories to the characters, and then the characters he's telling it to are the characters within his story. And that's kind of what's going on within here. I have to say, so the first segment started, and I was like, man, this is really bad. The acting is lame. It's so over the top, this and that. It was a slasher thing. And then as it continued to play on, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I get it. This is like a condensed parody. It's super gory, it's ridiculous. Like it's basically the last 15, 20 minutes of a over the top, extreme, fun slasher film. And the twist of what it all is and all that, I loved it by the end. I did not like it at all. I was rolling my eyes like, oh, Jesus Christ, man, is this how it's going to be? But as it progressed, I was like, wow, I'm really into this. And then the next three segments after that, there's five segments in all, I really loved the first three. I really loved the first three segments. The fourth segment, I liked a lot. Shit, I might even have loved the fourth segment, to be honest. I don't know how I feel about it, but the first three was super into. There's one with a priest and this girl who commits suicide and all this, and he's just like, there's this sequence where people's heads are getting cut off and heads are getting cut into and they're like splitting, and there's a lot of great gore in this. The fifth segment is throwaway. I didn't care for it almost at all. I thought there was moments, and mostly because of this character in it, this young girl who committed suicide. I thought she was kind of interesting, but outside of that, it was whatever to me. It's something I've seen a million times before, so that one felt uninspired. But other than that, man, if you have Shudder and you are a big anthology fan and you haven't checked out Nightmare Cinema yet, you absolutely should for those first four segments. I think they're fucking great. And I was really, really impressed with that because I've seen a lot of people being like, I shut it off 20 minutes in. Rebecca, buddy Corey, I think, Corey Gilson, I think was one. And I was like, oh shit. And as I said, the first like 10 minutes, I was like, oh, this is kind of lame. Fuck. But I feel like if I went back now, watching it in that mindset of like, oh, this is really supposed to be a cheesy slasher spoof in that first segment, I really got it. Like I was like, oh wow, I fucking love this. What the hell? So yeah, just kind of going with the right mindset on that first segment, and then I feel like from there you'll get it. The second one had to do with a girl with a scar on her face and where all that played out. I really liked that one. The third one, as I said, was the priest one. Loved that one because it gets super insane, gory, and violent, and awesome. And evil, and I just really liked that one. I'm kind of a toss-up between 1 and 3 for me on which one's my favorite. The fourth one was really cool, and it's kind of an exploration of someone who's losing their mind, and I've always been fascinated by that because, you know, your eyes can play tricks on you, and that's just unfair. Like, what you're seeing is what you're seeing, no matter if it's real or not. It is what you're seeing. So, like, I sit there and I'm like, oh man, what would you do? What would you do if you were seeing shit like this? And the imagery and what she's all seeing is nightmarish. And it's an actress that I'm pretty familiar with, and I really like her work, and I think her acting in this segment is great. And then the fifth segment is very forgettable, as I said. But overall, man, very, very excited about this one. And hopefully you guys will check it out. If you haven't yet, if you're anthology fans, absolutely give it a go, especially if you're a fan of gore and some unique stuff in your segments. So let me know. Good night.